So, what is this cow fluid, dude? Like, I don't understand. Like,
He's talking about milk.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that disgusting?
That's
so gross.
That's so fun. Well, hello everybody. This is Get.L.I.S in Space. Today's guest appearance. K Rissa quotes the vegan machine. I mean, that's what I'm telling she is because this is my sister. She's really taking this adventure seriously and like changed her whole life for it, and I respect it so much. And I don't know, I just want to know more about it. And we always talk anyway about it.
It's true. It's true.
And yeah, I just wanted to. So that's what they're calling milk, because it's vegan. Or
Oh my god. Yeah. Let me look at it again, because I always mess it up.
Or cow something fluid.
Baby calf growth fluid. Baby calf growth fluid. If you think about it.
Human calf growth fluid.
Yeah, exactly. But like when you put it in that aspect, that's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, but that's like what they talk about in this documentary. It's more like trying to point out like why are we drinking this? You know what I mean? Like it's meant to take like this calf and raise it to be like, 400 plus pounds, and like us as humans are drinking it. It's all a big corporation.
But like, that's the reality of it. I mean, even though milk and dairy products are very
There it is. Baby calf growth fluid.
Here, I'll make sure I'll see this. Yeah, you got
gross. But yeah, been a vegan for almost a year and a half, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it's been a good time. It's been very eye-opening. It's changed my outlook on life like a lot. Just because it's like crazy like how we just eat meat and dairy like it's no big deal, and it's really disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like funny like how everything's set up to be. The only thing I definitely recommend if anyone's kind of interested in looking into the whole veganism thing, definitely watch What the Health and Cowspiracy on Netflix. Those two, like, if you have Netflix, I feel like everybody has Netflix, totally like changed my whole outlook on life. There's also another one called Forks Over Knives. That one's super interesting too, especially if you like a lot of statistics and like information like that. It totally gives you a lot of like statistics. Like the numbers are just like ridiculous. Like, and then there's another one called Earthlings. I haven't watched that one. It's not on Netflix though, so it's like kind of hard trying to find that one. But
oh no, who else I want? I'm trying to think. No, I gotta tell. I sent it to the wrong fucking Twitter. I'm so stupid. Sorry, I was trying to tweet this out to my Twitter because nobody on Twitch, but I'm doing it on YouTube.
mm-hmm.
And I was trying to let everybody see this link.
So we're live on
We
YouTube.
are live, dude.
Wow, we are live.
Possibly listening. Honestly, I don't know if anybody is. I'll just do this. It says one person's watching, but I don't know who is. And no one's saying anything in chat, so.
Fuck it.
Well, yeah, my mouth is just so dry. I'm sorry. It's so early. So early in the podcast morning day because the Bob Marley lamp isn't fired up.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not moving yet.
But I don't know. I like the idea of eating right and paying more attention to what goes in your body, and like the idea of loving animals, and that maybe we don't really have to fucking kill.
Yeah.
And genetically modify and create growth food when we could probably do that with plants, and I don't know. I love meat and I love all that stuff too, but it's like, I guess I would eat it if it was done properly, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's like funny because I was just talking about like, I feel like the first question I get asked when I say, they're like, oh, like, why are you vegan? And you like try and go off and be like, yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of gross if you think about it. Like, you're eating like dead flesh and like, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't eat like a dead body, like a human body. So why are we eating animals' bodies? Like, that's like the first thing. And then just like the way, I mean, I'm not putting down eating meat because I feel like in other cultures or like different parts of the world, like it's different, but I think the Americanized version of meat is what's like bad.
Yes,
because
that's
like
what I
we're
agree
just
with.
doing factory farming, and that's like the worst part, because they're literally just producing all of these animals, and just like so much, like we don't even need the amount of meat that's getting produced. And it'd be different, like for example, like me and Jake were talking about the whole like living in Alaska, you know what I mean? Like that's completely different, because they're
You have
literally
to.
they're literally living off the land. Like
Yes.
they have to go out and hunt, and like they're killing like moose and elk and caribou, whatever. But like that's totally different than fucking us eating cows and pigs and chickens. And then on top of that, like not only because they're producing so many, like you have to feed them all these like antibiotics and shit, because they're all getting sick, because you're putting them all in like these cramped spaces, and then you're eating those antibiotics essentially, which is even more gross. But
Yeah. I was trying to figure out how to tweet everybody. I tweeted it on Twitter, my Twitter page. That's good. I'm done with that. I'm sorry. I'll stay after.
no, you're fine.
I know you're probably like, I started talking, and this kid's just going crazy.
I'm like, what to say next?
I'm not getting emails and shit because my shit's fucking going off. Everything's going off. I'm totally lost right now. Not gonna lie. But I just, even that, not even only that, but like the idea of eating not only what goes into your body, but like also like accurately like exercising, you know what I mean? And, like,
Yeah.
being, like, I feel like that's a big part of it too. So it's like, I feel like you do, I mean, you do like, your job isn't like you're sitting there, I mean, you're sitting your ass, but like you're always kind of moving around. And
Yeah.
it can become physical. So
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I definitely worked out more at Panera Bread than I do at UCB.
Yeah.
I definitely sit around and do nothing. I make sure, like, I sometimes get up and I'm like, yo, I gotta stand here because I've been sitting on my ass.
True.
But, I mean, it's definitely, like, listening to your body. I feel like I should definitely, like, move more than I do, but, I mean,
That's
you
what
kind of
I'm
have to,
starting to do
I
more
feel
than I
like,
have been.
yeah, with this whole, like, lifestyle, you have to, like, start off somewhere, you know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
I'm, like, working on the whole, like, getting, like, strictly, like, all the diet stuff down, like, eating super healthy, and because you can be vegan, but you can still eat, like, shit.
Dude, I know what you should do. You should do what I'm doing, dude. You should, I bet you, because you can do push-up?
Yeah, kinda. I just
Dude,
gotta,
even if you can do, like, one or two, dude, it doesn't even matter, because that's where you start. Because I could literally probably, in, like, 11th grade, do, like, 3.
yeah.
And, like, Mr. March was like, no, dude, like, you're gonna do more. And, like, one day I was just like, alright, dude. And I just fucking got down and just, and, like, even like I was saying last night, like, when I was doing my push-ups, I was like, I just hit this point where, like, it hurts so bad, but, like, I knew I could, if I just got this speed going, that I could just keep it up, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I just started doing as many as I could, and meanwhile, my phone was like, ding, 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 like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, cool. But,
Yeah, it's definitely like a practice thing. Like, I was doing it, like, a lot, like, making that a goal to, like, do as many push-ups as I can. So, like, even if you do, like, 1 or 2 actual push-ups, and then you just do, like, I do the ones where you, like, bend your knees, so then you're not, like, completely doing all of them, then you do all that, and so you can do more by yourself.
For sure, that's how you build it up. But I even, like, told Chris Sears last night that I, like, kind of tell myself, like, even, like, tonight, like, before I go to bed, if I come home, like, what I'll do is be like, I can't get in my phone. I can't get in my bed and like look at my phone or like look at YouTube or like, you know what I mean? I can't like relax. Like I can't lay in my bed until I do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like a chore type thing.
Yeah.
Like there's like this mental strain of like you have to do something that sucks every day. So it's like, why not add this to the list? Because this will actually help you and you'll physically become better and like physically feel better.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, like that just clicked with me and like resonated and I was like, okay, dude, like so that's what I've been doing even in the morning. I'll be like, I won't look at my phone, I won't hit my Juul, like, you know, when you first wake up, that's a big one, dude, because that's the first thing you want to do is, like, wake up and grab your phone and, like, who texted me, this, or that, and then the same thing with, like, I won't, like, leave my room, basically, or, you know what I mean, like, I won't go take a shower before that, like, so in the morning, I'm gonna sit there and try to, that's, like, the mentality, I guess, that I'm trying to, like, uphold.
No, that's definitely true. It's everything's, like, mind over matter anyway, like, you know what I mean, like, if you go, like, you tell yourself, like, I need to do this, like, it needs to get done, like, you'll do it, you know what I mean? I think that's what I mean, not to go back on the whole vegan thing, but like that's why I think I was doing what I was doing, because at first when I first started doing it, it was like, yeah, I was eating primarily vegan, and then occasionally, like, you know, you grab like something out of the cupboard and it's got like milk or eggs or something in it, and you're just like, whatever, like, okay. But then when you like watch those documentaries, and then it's like you get to see everything, like they make that connection, and I think that's the whole reason why people don't do it, because they're just looking at this perfectly packaged wrapped meat and not putting the like two and two together. Like this was like a fucking cow roaming around, like, which at this point probably wasn't actually even roaming around. It was probably just shoved in like a fucking farm, but whatever, you know what I mean? Like it's a living, breathing thing, and that got killed for you to eat it when you could literally live off of so many other things, like mad plants, yo. Like the amount of plants that are out there is ridiculous. Like there's no reason to like eat meat. Like it's so gross.
Sorry, I was talking so far away. But, yeah, here we are again. To the stupid dude. We didn't do any transition. We've been just rocking the fucking intro screen for like 10 minutes.
Yikes.
So I was just like compulsively trying to compose myself here, and it just wasn't happening.
Connor's completely lost in space right now.
Dude, that's so bad.
So lost.
Out of nowhere. I definitely want to drop a couple links to people, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. I have to copy it on my phone, or go to it on my phone. I'm going to say hi to everybody on my other channel, and I'm going to share it. Ready? I'm going to figure this out. This is my technology curve learning process. Copy link. I'm sorry. Who do I want to give it to. I mean, I'll drop it to Ben for sure. Yeah, buddy. Okay. Now who else? I forget who else said they wanted it. I'm sorry. I'll just do that in a second. Basically, I think with that shit in mind, like, like I said, everything you're saying, like, you feel so much better, and like mentally, physically, because you're like committing to something, and I mean, like it's like you have like a purpose almost.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I think the other thing too was after this weekend, like when I had Jake watch those documentaries, I mean, he's researched and done other, like, I don't know, he's looked up a lot of other things.
Yeah.
And then it was like I've looked up all of this stuff, and then like we almost like put everything together, and it all like crosses, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like interesting, because when you watch those documentaries, it's pretty much like the government is just like setting you up to like
eat all this shit.
Yeah, you're eating all this shit, and there's something, I feel like there's something going on, you know what I mean? Like all of these, like,
this is what I said before. I think it's like, are you smart enough to not eat the shit and become a piece of shit, like a big fucking blob of consumer of society? And if you are, then you'll realize it, and you'll do the right thing. So like, they probably really like look at people that are vegans, or people that are really like hardcore, like whatever, like even like Mormons, or like whatever the hell else, Mennonites. I was trying to think of that.
Yeah.
Like even those kind of people, like who like legitimately like don't live in like that society. I bet you they're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, they're completely unaware of everything else, and it's like, yeah, they probably should have whatever, but in that instance, it's like they're not being the consumer. So
yeah, no, exactly.
I don't know. It's my whole image of the elite. I think I try to be positive about it, because I think it's like, you need the lower tier. You have to have it, because for them to survive, they have to have like the low, middle, and you know what I mean? Like if the two classes weren't there behind you, there's a bunch of rich people, and nothing would get done.
Yeah, exactly.
Be a bunch of people sitting on their ass, smoking cigars, drinking all day, and it'd be like, hello guys, we gotta get some shit done. And it was just like, okay. But like I said, so I think in my eyes, everything is kind of like put in front of you, like you could be this way,
but you choose to be a consumer, and you choose to like go to McDonald's every day, and you choose to eat like that, and you choose to not do nothing but play video games and eat more food. So it's like, I don't know. People that actually do something to themselves, it's like I feel like they find that real quick.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm figuring out. Even like I feel so much better, dude. Like, just like, I don't know. After doing like this, I just pushing myself and like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then imagine if you made that change. Like, I'm not gonna promote like, you know, eating meat and dairy, but I mean, at least like if you stepped away from mostly processed stuff.
Yeah, because that's all I eat is garbage.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. You gotta start somewhere. You know what I mean? It's not like I went vegan overnight.
That's why I've been like when I go to Panera, I try to eat more on break. Like I don't really like a tortellini, and I'll make like a half sandwich with like, I mean, it's more like a grilled cheese, which is all cheese, but and soup and shit. But like, I just try to make sure I'm eating like a little bit more. I'll make like the Italian, like a full Italian, and all that, and eat like chips. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to make sure like I'm shoving more food in my face. Like today, a whole fucking pizza at school, extra most bestest, $7, so good. Way better than any like $5 fucking box, but just saying, not promoting Little Caesars.
Just a disclaimer.
Yeah, it's so sad that like you go to make a podcast, you're like, all right, what are the rules? And you read it, and you're just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you mention a company, you have to disclaim that like they don't promote me and I don't sell their products. Just so you know, like
just so you know, I'm not promoting what is it, being like an ambassador for What the Health Cowspiracy, Forks Over Knives, all that stuff. But you should watch it because I think it's good.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like you just have to do it to save your ass, so that way YouTube can't be like, "Hey, fuck you," and like just come at you. Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's like I don't even know if it's YouTube necessarily, but it's probably like the government trying to like
control
don't talk about that.
We fucking do.
Don't talk about that now.
That's why I'm surprised with those documentaries that they even came out, because.
But see, some of it's weird because it's like some people get away with like promoting it, and it's like okay, but it's like some people don't. Like I feel like the real like grassroots people, because it's like they get so close to telling them like everything, and I think that's what is weird was like about this thing on Netflix called The Secret. It's literally called The Secret. Like, hello, is anybody awake out there? And it's just like so funny to me that if I think about it in that way, like it's almost like the elites are up there and like, hey, we need these people, but if like you're smart enough to know better, then like come join us type thing. Like the secret of law of attraction is I can think of anything that I want, and if I can imagine it and I truly believe in it and it's there and I can imagine what it feels like to have it, then it'll show up. Yeah. And it's like you can do that your whole life, and that's what all these people supposedly have done. And that's why, I mean, you have to watch this, honestly, and I'm about to just play it, and we should just watch it. And anybody that's watching it, like, I'll literally type it into the chat. It's literally called The Secret. Ugh, I don't know if I can spell that right.
I definitely did.
No, I think that's right.
Secret,
yeah.
Netflix. But, and you can watch it with us. It's totally fine. Like, you just won't be able to hear what we're hearing, and you won't see it. You'll just still see us talking about it. Because I'm definitely going to pause it like a couple times, but just to play it and see what I'm talking about, it's a good watch, and it's like only like an hour of your time. Come on, you're going to watch like 15 episodes of whatever tonight. That's something that you've watched 6 times. You haven't watched this. Take a minute of your time and look what the elite are trying to show you. Because this is what this is. If you think about it and watch this, like what I just said, like this is the fucking elite trying to tell us, like, it's so weird. It's such a weirdly done movie, and it's done like the 80s.
You know what I mean? This is like mad old.
But it's
not.
Mad
old, but you said
I don't even know.
80s.
We'll have to look it up. But it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's all edited, and it's like, it's just so weird. The great secrets. It's like, what the fuck? Like I'm watching this last night, wicked eye, and I'm like, my heart's racing. I'm like, freak out. Someone's in my room. I'm gonna die. Like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like, I'm freaking out. Like, all these stones. I'm like, the music. I'm like, oh shit, this dude's fucking done. Oh my god, I'm freaking out last night. Watch this at Chris's house. It's crazy. Yo, are our parents home?
No.
They're gone?
Yeah, they're at a hockey
Yes,
game.
dude. Okay, I'm being quiet, thinking that they're upstairs. In their room.
No.
That's amazing. That makes me feel so much better.
No, they're at a hockey game.
Great. Yeah, so feel free to talk then. Because I feel like, I mean, you already were, but I'm just being high and stupid. This is mad weird, isn't it? Alright.
Like, does this whole beginning part have anything to do with
No. It's just the
like,
fucking
it's
intro.
just like an intro, like
Yeah.
mad random intro.
All these people, like, they're referencing all these people. And it's, you know what I mean? Like, supposedly this girl, that's what they're saying, is that this girl figured out the secret and that she began to change. And I need, who else knows this? Somebody else has to know this, right?
And what's the secret? Just the law of attraction?
There's a bunch of shit.
Oh.
There's like it's like every like 10 minutes there's like a bunch of intersections, but the law of attraction is like the one of the main ones. Like, do you want to be a millionaire? Do you want to be more successful? Like,
Yeah.
what?
I mean, like, for the most part, we kind of talked about this. Like, I know, like, Mom talks about it a little bit, but it is kind of crazy. Like, if you, like, really try and change your mindset to, like, I gotta, like, have, like, I need this to happen type thing. Like, if it happens, like, it's, like, stupid. But Mom gave that example of, just being like, oh, like, there's going to be a close parking spot at the grocery store. And sometimes it sounds stupid, but I do it. I'll be like, damn, there's definitely going to be a close parking spot. And then there is. You come around the corner, you're like, oh, all right.
So they're saying that what you're seeing and what you're thinking, you're attracting to you.
Which also makes sense. Like, a lot of negative people have so much negative
Yes.
stuff happen to them. Like,
And that's the thing, is that you can't control other people. So they're so negative in their energy that when you surround yourself by them, you become negative because it's like they're around you like that.
yeah.
That's what's crazy about it, dude.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to surround yourself with people that want to believe and want to do good and all this shit so you can believe and you can do good.
And that's why, like, I don't know. I feel like that's why I needed to get another job. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know, like, probably people from Panera are going to be watching this, but...
And that's what's
like,
funny is when I saw Sean, I was like, I talked to him, I was like, oh, you trying to work anywhere? And he's like, oh, I don't know, I kind of was. And I feel like I made him, not that I made him feel bad, but I feel like I made him, like, really, like, oh, he's even asking me, you know what I mean? Like he might have been already asking himself.
Yeah.
And then I asked him if he was looking for a job, and then now he's like, yeah, kind of, but I really haven't been, but I probably should, you know what I mean? And then he put that thing on Snapchat, and I was like, yo, where are you working type thing? And he was like, oh, I'm at Gothier Steel. I'm like, oh, okay, well, like, I'll apply, and like, because I'm trying to get in there. And that's just like, I've been thinking about that a lot. I'm like, they gotta call me. They gotta call me. Like, I want them to call me so bad.
Yeah.
And like, I believe, I'm like, every time the phone rings, I'm like, this could be Gothier. You know what I mean? I say it every time because it's like, I want to believe that the phone call is coming. Like, you know what I mean? And I just keep telling myself that even this, at any point, whoever calls me, I'm like, is this Gothier? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just want it.
Yeah.
So.
That's what I feel like I did. I mean, like, UCP is always hiring anyway, but, like, at the same time, like, I've applied to so many jobs, like, and to actually have them, like, call me back and, like, now I got another job, it was because I was like, yo, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to apply to these jobs, and I'm going to get a job. Like, it's going to happen. Like, I'm not going to work at Panera Bread anymore. Like, I can't keep working there.
Yeah.
But, and I feel so much more relieved, like, not working there. Like, even if I did go back in as associate, I probably wouldn't be able to do it. Like, it'd be, like, when you're just, like, in such a negative atmosphere and you feel like you can't even be yourself, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm on, like, this different path where I'm trying to be super positive and look at things differently. Like, I feel like the whole veganism definitely started, like, that whole path that I'm trying to go on. And I feel like when you're surrounded by negative, closed-minded people, like, you can't, like, what's the word I'm trying to use? Can't, like, expand or, like, develop as a person, like, the way you want to, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, see? This is what we're just talking about. With all of your intentions. You make, so it's like, That's what people don't understand. All of your intentions. You're making moves towards that. You're not just only thinking and believing that you want it, but you're making actions in your life to make it better.
Yeah.
And you're yeah, exactly. You're focused on.
Beeping the horn. It's like funny. I feel like that they're like talking about an example about being late to work.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've done that so many times. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna be late. But then like there's days where I'm like running late. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then like I get there and it's like I'm actually like not late. And I'm like, oh.
Since they're saying they're always working, so that's why I was just saying that it's no matter if you believe it, if you acknowledge it or not, it's always happening. Yeah, exactly. That's insane to me. That just blew my mind because that's kind of like what I was already like banking on with like the auras. Like you're putting that information out there, like you're connecting because it's an aura. Like you know what I mean? And like I don't know. It's just gonna get worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so dramatic.
Yeah. Email access. So anybody that I don't know who's in here or not, but we're watching The Secret on Netflix and talking about that idea behind it. Get off, you fag. That's so funny.
I feel like this whole situation is weird. Like, okay, so it's like this guy, and he's gay, and he's trying to do all this stuff, but like now he's getting bullied
I didn't
and
know
everything.
That was something I should not have said. I did not mean that in that way. I come from a time where fag was a different thing. Fag was somebody who was like an asshole and like was like a prick, you know what I mean? Like a dickhead. Like that's what it was for us. So that's what I thought he was referencing to it as.
Mm.
Yeah. That's what I should be doing, dude, because I really would love to do something like that. That would be amazing. And I should just believe that I could do it. And I should just always... I mean, I've always had this weird inkling that I would, like, be not just a normal person. You know what I mean? Like, not that I would be, like, famous or, like, popular, but that, like, I wouldn't fit in and I wouldn't be like everybody else. I just always have had that feeling and, like, known that, like, even, like, as I get older, like, the more I grow, like, I'm not going to be like everybody else.
I feel like that's why sometimes I, like... totally am okay with like where I'm at because I feel like there's a reason why there's always a reason why things are happening, you know what I mean? Like there's never like a coincidence, I feel like. And I kind of feel like I don't know. Like I've always been the one to go off the path. Like this is what everyone's doing, but like why? Like why is everybody doing this? Like I don't want to do this, I'm going to do this type of thing. Like I don't know. And it was like interesting to like talk like Jake again like talking about like there's a reason why we're on the path that we are right now. Like we're supposed to be doing something, you know what I mean? So I feel like finding out all this information and then being able to talk about it and spread awareness and then like get people to think. I mean, I'm like always saying that after I went to school and learned about everything that I did, it was just kind of like at the end of the day, like, we can agree to disagree, but, like, as long as you kind of thought about what I had to say for, like, a couple of seconds, that's all I care about.
Yes.
Like that's all I care about. Like, if
because then maybe 5 minutes down the road you go, or a week down the road you go,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you'll think about it again, and then after that you'll think about it again, and you'll build, and then maybe you go, hey, shit, maybe I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll read something, and then it starts. You know what I mean? And that's I totally am the same. That's so funny you're saying that because I've been saying that a lot lately.
Yeah.
Like,
because like a prime example, like I always talk about Miller and like Vestal. I've had so many conversations with him about like racism, feminism, veganism, like all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like he gives me the time of day, like he'll hear me out, but he's always trying to not like fight with me, but rebuttal everything I have to say. Like he's always like, no, this, and I'm just like, but bro, like think of it this way, you know what I mean? And there was one time he actually like came into work and he looks at me and he goes, I thought of you the other day, and I was like, why? And he's like, because I don't know, like it was something random. It was like at work they were talking about like No Shave November or something, and one of the girls goes, yeah, I do No Shave November too, and he stopped and like thought about it for a second and was like, what? And then but he didn't say anything, so he came up to me and he like thought about like how there's always like the double standard, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Like, it's okay for guys to do this, but it's gross if girls do this, or like, like the Western viewpoints, like for example, like
Westernism is fucked.
on bodily hair, like I can't have armpit hair, leg hair, facial hair, nothing because that's too much, but you guys can have it, like, or I have to wear all this makeup, like, you know what I mean? Like even like for example, like I try to stay away from that, but even before this podcast, like I put my contacts in and put a little bit of makeup on because I was like, damn, like I need to like not look like dramatic, but like I just didn't want to look, you know what I mean? Like there's always like gotta fit this mold and look like a certain way or do a certain thing, and I don't know. But yeah, so I got him to think about what he was thinking about for a second and was like, damn, you're right. And I'm like, yeah.
For sure, dude, and that's all that matters. And this was what was so weird is that they were just saying in this that your mind shapes what is being like, you know what I mean, like what is being perceived is like shaped by your mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he wants to believe that, and he probably thinks that all girls are out to fuck him over and like they get away with this and that. And it's like, yeah, dude, you're gonna see that. You're gonna be around those people now because you just called for that, and those people are gonna come to you and surround themselves with you because that's who they are and that's what you asked for. You know what I mean? Like, it's so weird, and I feel like that's probably a big reminder for me. You know what I mean? Like, even in my life with all my fucking bullshit going on. But whatever. So, I mean, I'll just continue playing this in the background, but it's pretty weird. This guy's a quantum physicist is saying this. Quantum physicist is studying this. Fucking idiot. Yeah, I mean, that's the truth. Okay. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Right. Okay, so, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's pretty obvious. And make a new choice. That's funny. Okay. So they're saying that you sculpt yourself with your thoughts. I mean, it's pretty true if everything they're saying is true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If everything you think and believe and truly want, you bring upon yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like what we were saying before, like people who are so negative, like radiating that negativity, like it's like funny, like how somebody can be in a bad mood and that literally brings down like everyone around them.
Yes, dude.
Because of the way that they're talking, the way that they're acting, or like, I don't know. I try to get away from that because I feel like I'm definitely guilty of doing that. Like there's been so many times where something happens and I get pissed off and then like I'm like miserable, but then you're like hanging out with people and they're like, what's wrong? And you just don't want to talk about it, but you're pissed and you just don't get over it. You know what I mean? Instead of thinking to yourself, all right, this happened, I'm fucking pissed, this sucks, let's move on. Because if you don't, then like it's so bad.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I definitely understand that because I definitely feel like I could be like that when like I'm in a bad mood. I feel like everyone around me is like pissed off, especially at work. It's like if I'm not happy-go-lucky, cracking jokes, being funny, like everyone's like that. But it's like if I'm coming, I'm like fuck this place. Oh, everyone becomes like fuck this place.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I mean? It's so weird. After this guy's asking me, why do you stream to YouTube? I was like, because it posts a video when I'm done.
That's true. They don't have to wait like however long.
I mean, Twitch is great because I feel like Twitch you can build an audience, and I think that's what he was probably gonna ask me.
Can you do both at the same time, or would that be?
I thought I could, but I don't know if I really could with OBS. I'd have to have like another streaming service. I could like, I don't know. I don't know what I could do. I don't know what the better option is. I thought YouTube was a better option for me just because of that. I think because to archive stuff, you know what I mean? To just tell people, yo, watch this, like if you got time, you know what I mean? Because then they can play it, pause it, stop it whenever they got time. Yeah. So that's what my thought process was. Huh. Damn.
It's like I feel like a lot of this stuff is like stuff like it's almost like
the revenge.
I feel like it's like common sense, you know what I mean? But then at the same time, like
everyone forgets it because of society's fucking stigma, and they make it so selfish. You know what I mean? Such an anger-filled, guilt-filled world. Like just go back to that. Just go back down that fucking list they just read off. Whatever the fuck it was. That makes you feel bad. All right, come on. Depression, guilt,
resentment, hate, revenge.
Revenge, yeah. I don't know what this one is.
Oh, fear.
Fear. Anger.
I didn't see what that other one was.
I can't. What the fuck? What the? Bestowal blame.
The other one says annoyance. I don't know.
Boredom.
Boredom.
Boredom. Okay. So it's like it's so funny because so many people like wrap their whole lives based on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Love, joy, passion, happiness, joyful expectation, hope, satisfaction, gratitude. Wow. Mm-hmm. That's really. I mean, if you lived in that, I feel like.
Yeah.
If you're always like, oh yes, I'm so satisfied that like this happened. Like, you know what I mean? I'm so happy. I'm so excited.
Yeah. I also feel like too, like another thing I've been trying to work on is like you know, like same thing. Like you put out what you want to get. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like I've been actually like if you go out in the community and you're like I don't know, just being super nice to people, making small talk, like you know, like complimenting people or like. There's like for example, I went to Utica Coffee and like that new Soul Bowl place, and you don't have to tip, but you could tip. It's up to you. But I kind of feel like even if it's just an extra $1. Like you can't just tip $1. Like what is the big deal? Because then at some point I feel like if you're like putting yourself in other people's shoes, like you want to be nice to them because you'd want them to be nice to you, type of thing. Like
exactly.
I don't know, just trying to like attract like good vibes and get like that good karma, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like but like don't go out of your I don't know how to explain it. Like I don't want people to think like, oh, she's just like acting or something, you know what I mean? It's like no, like genuinely, like I want to genuinely attract good people and good vibes into my life, so I genuinely need to be like a good person. Like
right, exactly.
Just doing it out of like doing it, like not thinking like, oh, I gotta be a really good person today.
Yeah, and I don't know. I totally agree, and it's just when you surround yourself with bad people, you just get bad vibes and become in a bad place, and it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, damn. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why would you do?
Your whole day goes like that. Yep, everything just goes great for her now. Because she woke up and was like, it's 7 o'clock. Yay.
It's such a great day to be alive.
Yay. I mean, it's so hard because you're always like, it's 7 o'clock. Fuck, I slept for 10 minutes. God damn it.
I feel like honestly it's so much easier to be negative. Like, you
oh,
know what
yeah,
I mean?
for
like,
sure.
And I think that's like almost what this video's talking about. Like,
Yeah.
it's so easy for us to be super negative and to like,
like,
just, I don't know, get stuck in this like huge rut. Like, it's like, if you think about it, there's times where you'll be at work and someone's just so happy and such a good mood and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why are you so happy? Like, what's going on? And, like, you almost question that, too, you know what I mean? Like, you're always just like, why are these people so happy? Like, but then at the same time, like, that's the thing. Like, if you want a good life, you gotta be happy and attract good things. Like, I don't know.
It's so funny because I say that I wake up like that, but I don't. Lately, I've been trying to wake up and I'm like, all right, let's do some fucking push-ups. Do some sit-ups. I'm like, I'm going to wake up. I'm going to do as many as I can until I cannot do anymore. I'm just insane, dude. I just like, I don't know. I just like trying to have that high energy.
Yeah.
And just like always trying to like do something, be on the move.
I think there's like two different extremes, like with the happiness thing. Like you can like, you know, think the positive thoughts and kind of be happy and smile, but then like the people that like go out there like, oh my god.
Oh yeah. Almost like a fake happiness.
Yeah, and you're just like, please stop.
Yeah.
Like the fucking morning people, and they just come in and they're in such a great fucking mood, and I'm like, yo, I just rolled out of bed. Please don't talk to me. Like, I need like an hour, like, to chill, wake up into the world.
Ugh. For sure. I don't know. It will always be that way. Like, you know, it's came out in 2006. So how many people have actually seen this? How many people have actually given this some thought? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what's funny is like I was talking to Chris about this, is that I discovered this personally. You know what I mean? On my own efforts, like in my own thoughts, through thinking and shit, and I figured out like it kind of is what you make of it. Yeah, you do create your own universe as you go along. Fucking Winston Churchill. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's so crazy. I don't know. What the fark? I'm feeling good. This Jewel should be feeling good. I'm feeling good, Jewel. Are you feeling good? Yeah, that's what I thought, buddy. I sing all the time. Start singing. That'll change your emotion. I love singing. A-B-B-D-D-doo. No. Start singing like a crazy person. Starting to feel good. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I love all my dogs. I love them all. They're amazing animals.
Right.
That's great.
No, we really do. Don't question us.
A dog?
They just bark all the time.
Your own reality and your freedom. And where are all your powers? I mean, I get it, dude. It makes sense. It's like such a common sense thing, like we're saying. Like, if you just, I want to have this amazing life, and I want to start a family, and blah blah blah, and all this shit. It's just like crazy.
No, I really like even going off that example. Like, I feel like it's like mind blowing to me, like the amount of people that are living miserable lives. Like, you know what I mean?
Like you were saying before, like people that live in one spot for one area and they don't fucking move, and they do the same shit every day, and they live the same life. They buy the same food. They watch the same shows. They don't explore. They don't adventure. They don't like live for themselves. They don't like do what their aspirations are. Do what you want to do. You're good at it. Like you want to do it, then go. Well, let's go. First gobber of the night. The top's still frozen. That's funny.
But yeah, I don't know. I just like you said, like we were talking about like the other day. Like, it's just so mind blowing to me. Like the people that live in one spot and like, but they don't even like. There's some people who just don't even.
Are you cold?
Yeah, it's like.
It's mad cold. I have this little blanket over here if you want it.
I've been cold all fucking day.
Yeah,
Like I came upstairs and Bear was like, "You look like you've been living up in the north for a couple years or something." Because I had a hat, my flannel, my socks, and all this shit. And I'm like cold as fuck. But yeah, I I mean, like, I guess everyone's different, and I don't really know if it has. I mean, it probably has a lot to do with like society and shit. But like, I just don't understand how there's a whole planet out there, and just people are so content with living in like a little old town
I
their whole life and
know.
not seeing anything. Like, I can't. Like,
I know. The idea of traveling is so like fun and adventurous, and
yeah,
like just seeing how other people live and
yeah,
like
like,
what they focus on a day-to-day basis. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
I was like talking about this at work the other day. My manager was like, "You don't have your passport?" And I was like, "No." It's like, I really want to. Like, I want to travel overseas. She's like, "You have to." She's like, just to see like
I want
all
to go
the
to Europe
different
so
like
bad.
cultures and shit. And it's totally true because like, I mean, we can look up stuff on like the internet and shit, but like, it'd probably be so life changing to see that shit in real life and see
Yeah.
how people like live. Like, I don't know. I feel like the United States is just like such a small bubble, and I don't know. I'm like grateful to live here. Don't get me wrong. Like, we have
Because
so
of all
many
the
things.
freedoms.
Like, yeah, we can do, but like at the same time, like, it'd be so interesting to live a life like somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, see different like all the different tribes that are like in Africa, or like see like, I don't know. I think my one manager, she just went to like Spain and Greece and shit, and like how they do things differently. Another lady I work with is from Jamaica. She talks about her culture all the time, and I'm like, damn, it's all so different. And then sometimes like I question like, well, that's like stupid. Like, they can't do certain things, or like women have to wear certain stuff, but like it's all different. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the Western world is so different compared to like all those other different
Oh, for sure.
countries and shit.
And it's even like, I mean, kind of what I feel like that's what we do. It's like that's like if we as America like westernized like
Everything.
everything, and it's like you go over there with Western fucking ideas and Western. You make it a Western problem, Western
Yeah.
solution. You expect a Western solution, and it never turns out to be like that. So everyone gets butthurt,
Yeah.
and it's like they didn't do what we wanted. What the fuck? And we're just like,
Those savages.
they squandered everything we had. I'm just like, hello, pal. Like, they're not Westerners. Are you awake? Because I'm like 3/4 awake.
I can't.
But I just, it's amazing to me. But I don't know. I remember seeing this last night. They're talking about Aladdin's lamp in the story, and I'm trying to remember what they're saying. Like, it's like almost like that's like what the message was, like that this never really happened, but this is what he like figured out.
Yeah.
Because when he got what he wanted or something. No limit of wishes. Yeah. The universe is the grand genie. Right. Right. That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I was saying with like megalithic structures and shit like that. That like if you have the pyramids, if you have 50 to 100 people that all seriously fucking believe that for the better of their society and the best of them and their health and their family and what's going to benefit them in the long run and their future generations, and they're like, we have to do this because it is necessary for all those X, Y, and Z. And you could probably make them all believe, and I think that's how they move those fucking blocks, dude. Like, that's why you can't explain it, and that's why it's so perfectly stone cut. And they're trying to say that, like, all this shit went on in the sky because they probably had the fucking technology to do it and made it out of stone, and that's probably why you find all these other fucking things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying I don't believe in extraterrestrials, but I think that like a lot of the megalithic structures could be definitely based on this idea that if you have like one person, you can draw everything in the universe to you. So if you have 100 or 100,000 people that all believe for the better of their society, that they all want this one thing to happen. And imagine now that even like their body, they die. What'd they do? They took out their brains and their heart and they put them in jars and kept them in the fucking pyramids. That probably, they died for the cause and we kept their organs.
Yeah.
and put them where we all fucking still sacred and respect their lives and appreciate them and continue to have this energy into future ourselves. So that probably benefits even more. And imagine how many people fucking died making the pyramids. Now you got all those people's souls, all that energy, and even if they came reincarnated, now it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they probably came back and were like another person that was like another generation of people that, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's always the cycle of like, you come back no matter what probably, but it's like, if you find this higher consciousness, then it's like you keep coming back and you live it better. That's what heaven is. It's like you make it your heaven.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think all this stuff is so like all the religions, I'm not saying they're wrong, they all have the right idea. It's like they all just express it in their own way. And it's like, will you figure it out? Which one do you believe in?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
or it's like they all interpret everything differently. You
exactly.
know what I mean? Like everything's up for interpretation. So like one group interprets this and they interpret that. Like it's all different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, I definitely think reincarnation's like a thing.
For sure. Like
because
this is definitely not your first time around the block. This is definitely not your first soul, like your first body that you've lived in and first.
That's why when it comes down to like when you make certain choices, like sometimes like I'm always like thinking like, why did I choose to do this or something? Yes. Or like why, like we're always talking about our dreams and shit, like how we can like have a dream and then almost like a couple weeks later it happens.
Yep.
Like so either we're on the right path, like we've kind of done this before and we're doing things the right way. But then sometimes I think like, are we?
Yeah.
Like, am I just reliving?
I think
life
you
that
like
I've already
you
lived?
choose it to an extent, especially by the energy that you do. Like you can live a normal, simple life. Like it's like almost like with every choice you make, it gets rewritten. Like and everything gets overlapped. You know what I'm saying? All at once, and it's like it's constantly like almost like a computer, like an algorithm. It's rewriting it. It's like an adventure book. You make this choice. Okay, you went down here, so now you have all these options.
Yeah.
Okay, you went down here. Oh, you want to have all these options. Oh wait, but you're thinking about all this. Now this comes up to you. This is your. So it's like you generate your options, and based on your previous picks, that's what comes in forward before you. But you can, if you lived in that past tense, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like that's the idea of it, is that like everything that's happened to you creates what you think and creates what you believe. So that's what you create again, and you can keep living in that unless you change what you're thinking and to a better mindset to better it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like it's like such a fundamentalistic idea, and everyone's just like lives in this consumer. I want this and I want that. I have to have that, and they'll push everyone all the way for it, and but think that for half a second everybody else wants the same thing.
Yeah. That's why, like, I feel like the greatest thing you can do is just go against everything that's, like, the norm, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. That's why I feel like I got on that path with the whole vegan thing, because it's, like, people do it, but, like, the norm is to eat meat and consume dairy and all this other stuff. And then, like, I also feel, like, so much better in my, I don't know, then I started looking into, like, the minimalism thing, too, like, why do we feel we have to have the best of the best? Like, you don't have to have the best of the best. Like, I don't know.
So put a sweatshirt on. Fucking cold. We're about to go through the 3 steps of the creative process.
Creative process.
I'll tell you, like, I'm freezing, dude, for no reason. This makes the stupidest noises. You're on live TV, sir. You can't do that. This is my show.
Do whatever the fuck I want.
Screaming in my room. What are you guys doing at 9 o'clock at night? Well, my Friday night, I sat in a room and said stupid shit. Oh, fucking hell. Okay, hello everybody. That was a quick sweatshirt break.
It's cold as fuck down here.
We are currently 3 miles below the Earth's surface, broadcasting this to you live because the people need to know. Fucking hell. I just had to say something retarded. And we're back. So, the first step is ask, dude. You just have to command it. Yeah, buddy. Oh, I love this, the bike. But they talk about bad thoughts in this. And they talk about how the kid's like disappointed, and it's like, don't be disappointed, like believe and like understand that you like know what you feel like it's gonna be when you have it. Like if it doesn't come to you yet, just believe that it's still coming, and like act like you have it already. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's crazy. That's your catalog. Right.
It's like interesting too, like when it talks about having a person like that, because I feel like more recently I've just been like, you know what, like as far as like attracting people into your life, like how you want them to be, like it, I don't know, I guess it sounds cliche, but like if you really sit down and you think about like the type of person, like if you're talking about like a significant other and you want like them to have certain qualities or certain aspects to like match up with what you want, like then you'll attract it, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
if you are who you really are and like you want them to, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's why, like, when it comes down to bad relationships, it's kind of like I don't understand people like being in a bad relationship, because like you're just attracting like shitty shit, you know?
What the fuck?
Gotta really ask for who you want. You want your soulmate to come find you? They'll come find you.
I know, it's so it's like so crazy. Yeah, here we go. Oh, just rip my fucking head with these headphones.
Begin
Doubtful.
Super pissed.
I didn't get that fucking bike. Fuck my life. Dude, I know.
Oh, step 1 was ask. Step 2 is feeling. Step 3 is what? Receive.
Step 2 is believe. Believe. You said feeling.
Oh, I thought I said...
No, you said believe. You said feeling. I was like, what?
Cursive. I can't read it.
Put yourself in the frequency. That's what's so funny, like frequency. They talked about that in like Ancient Aliens, and like how whole societies of people would disappear because they had written that they were trying to all master themselves into frequencies and the harmonics of like life and shit like that. And then
like the whole like vibrations thing.
Yeah, and like they were like they think that they were like they literally changed their frequency to like whatever, move or go somewhere else or whatever. Like it's just crazy.
That'd be so interesting to do. Like if you could get like a group of people like with the whole same mindset and just like sit in a room and meditate, but all like just think the same thing about like being somewhere else, and you just poof,
you're there,
disappear.
It's so crazy. Yeah. Right.
Which that makes sense too, because I feel like sometimes people just expect things to get handed to them. So
it's
I don't.
Like if you don't take the action, that's what I was saying earlier.
Like definitely making the action, or like if you get an inkling to like do something,
just do it.
Just do it, because then it'll probably lead you to whatever it is that you want or what you want to do.
Exactly. It's craziness, dude.
That's why I always say too, like everything happens for a reason. It's like a cliche line, but I really like it happens for a reason.
Yeah. Nudge. The intuitive nudge. That's so funny, because I find myself doing that more. I find myself just like, fuck it, like, why not? I'll ask. Why not? I'll do this.
What's like funny about that too, it just reminded me, there was like this TED Talk I watched one time about like, I don't remember if it was a 5-second rule or the 3-second rule, but it was just like one of those things where we're talking about people like with depression or like, I guess like anxiety, I don't know, like not like doing something, like, you know what I mean? Like, so for example, like you really want to like work out and look good, but you find yourself like always in bed. It's so hard to get out of bed. It's so hard. It's like so cold out. I don't want to drive to the gym. It's like you have to, like, you're laying there and you're like, damn, I need to go to the gym, and be like 1, 2, and then just get up, because like if you sit there longer than like 3 seconds, like you're not gonna do it.
Yep.
So it's like you have to get into that mindset of like you want to do this, like you gotta take that action.
Right. Okay. Oh, okay. That's a good way to put it. They put it as driving at night and like with your headlights only shining so far forward. That's what life is that you're only seeing so far forward, and like you should have faith in what you're seeing next, that what coming is after that is going to be just as good as what you're seeing now. So like driving, like you have faith in that. You have faith in what you're seeing as it's coming along. That's so smart, dude. Like, and this is like 2006. And people are just like, oh, I'm going to my Starbucks, going to get my new iPhone. Like, like, yeah, 2006. That's what it said.
I thought you said it came out in the 80s or something. That's why I was like, what?
No, I'm pretty sure. Like, watch, if I just leave it pause, this thing will come down. Maybe not.
No, I feel like I know what you're saying.
It has to be paused for a while, probably. I don't know. It's 2006. I'm pretty sure. Chris here, sup man, vegan machine. Connor's quiet as shit, can't hear you guys, my volume all the way up. I'm just saying this shit at the point. God damn it.
This whole fucking time.
Thanks, homie. Mad skills, I appreciate that shit, bruh. Okay, my mic should be fine. I'm probably just talking like way too far from it.
You really can't hear me, it's like really quiet.
No, I think it's good now. Should be good now.
Damn.
Chris, if you're still there, you please let me know. You please let me know. We got 4 people in here, man. 4 people are watching. All 4 of you, thank you for listening to our rant about The Secret. We're just watching The Secret. We are, I don't even know how far in. 31 minutes? We've watched this for a half hour. I don't know, it's crazy. It's just like such a weird documentary that I feel like no one paid attention to.
I wonder if it's quiet because it's like through YouTube or something. Because I just...
Oh yeah, I am really quiet. Huh. I'm really quiet. Fuck it, I'll turn my shit up then. Aight. Sounds good. This is probably better. Hello? Anybody? Bueller Fry? Is this any better?
3 people watching now.
People are like, yo, fuck these assholes. They're trying to fix their stream. They can't get their shit together. It's a one-man show, man. Everybody relax. Alright. I'm just gonna leave it cranked. I'd rather have us yelling and way too loud than not being able to hear us at all.
That's true. I don't even know. How long have we even been like streaming
we
for?
Have been live for an hour and 3 minutes. Can you believe it?
It doesn't even seem like an hour.
It does not seem like it's been an hour. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, I guess we can just keep watching this. I mean,
Yeah.
we got like an hour left. So we talked for a half hour before we even started watching The Secret.
Oh.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because if we just finish this, that's like a 2-hour stream, 2.5-hour stream. That'd be nice. Oh man, I just like that idea, and it's so I like the fact that I discovered this on my own, and that I didn't have to watch this to be told it, but like.
But it's like reaffirming. The
Yeah,
idea,
it's like
you know what I mean?
exactly. It's totally like a better feeling. Sorry, everybody, if I'm blowing your eardrums out. Chris, I hope you're still here.
Talking about expecting a bill in the mail. Not about that life.
Do you know what's funny though? Is like that happened to me recently with getting a ticket in court, and I was like really like, it's gonna come. I know. I have like a bench warrant or something, and like it never came. So maybe those guys were just stupid, and my aura wasn't strong enough. I wasn't reaching out far enough.
That's like yesterday. I was talking to Gabby on the phone or whatever, and when I was in Washington, I we were driving down this road and the speed limit was 30 and I had no idea, and all of a sudden we're driving, it was like this huge like flash just came over like the windshield, and I was like, what the fuck was that? It was like one of those like cop things on the side of the road, so it took a picture of the car because I was doing like 60 and like a 30, it was either 30 or 40, I don't remember. And I was like, fuck, I'm about to get a fucking ticket in the mail. Never came. So I don't know what happened with that, but I'm glad that didn't happen.
I don't know. I gotta get like you an arm with a mic, and then I gotta get those square like 1x1 like soundproof tiles and put them all up here, and then I'll probably put like I gotta build like something, because I feel like it's everything just bounced off the walls too much.
Mm. Oh, you mean like the whole echoing or something?
Yeah, I feel like it's happening, but it's like I'd rather have us hear us.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what else to do, because I'm talking and see like every time I'm like raising my voice, like your mic's going off.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fucking annoying, but it is what it is. We're doing the best we can here, kids. Like, I don't know, I could turn myself down a little bit, but then when you talk, if you say anything, like I feel like it goes the same off.
Hello.
Yeah, maybe not too bad. Maybe it's just me. I just gotta talk more directly into the mic. Have a little echo off me. But I don't know. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just surround myself with good energy and just powerfully like do what makes me happy and do what I gotta do.
Yeah. No, for
Surround
sure.
myself with good shit.
Well, I think now they're talking about like, I don't remember what they said it was. I think there's like another 3-step process, but they're talking about gratitude. And
Oh, like being like gratitude. Oh, they're talking about gratitude right now.
yeah, to be like thankful. You know what I mean? Like it sounds like, I don't know. It's probably morally cliche too, but like I don't know. Like they're just talking about all this stuff. Like you should be totally grateful. Like there's days where I'm like, damn, I really don't want to go to work right now. But like I should be grateful that I have a job and I'm getting paid and I can do the things that I'm doing, because some people, like, we're not going to get into this topic, but you know, like the whole government shutdown thing, like some people have to go to work and they're not getting paid, but they have to fucking go, or people don't have jobs because things are shut down, and like how are they supposed to like live, you know what I mean? So
Exactly.
I don't know, just being grateful to like live the life that you're living right now.
Huh. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. A rare. Wow. That's insane. Wow. Gratitude rocks. This guy's talking about how he's a rock, that he's calls his gratitude rock, and he carries it around, and every time he takes it out of his pocket, he thinks about everything he's grateful for. Or if you know what I mean, every time he like pretty much comes in contact with it, he thinks everything he's grateful for.
I think that's a really good idea, honestly.
That is a really good idea.
Because like sometimes like
It could be anything.
are they serious right now?
Wow. They did the same thing in South Africa with this guy he met, and they sold them as gratitude rocks to raise money for charity.
You know, like now, like seeing that, like it makes me wonder, because I've always kind of been interested in the whole like crystal thing, you know what I mean? Like people have like all these different crystals to help them like with different things, like, you know what I mean? But like at the end of the day, it's you. You know what I mean? Like these gratitude rocks, like I don't know. It's kind of like up to you to like have, like, you know, that's what this whole fucking thing is. Like it's up to you, but that's like crazy.
If you believe that, like, this is my lucky whatever, like this is what gives me this, and like you have it with you, and you always think about it every time you see it or touch it or whatever, then like okay, then it comes to you, like you. That's wow. What the fuck, Jewel? Wow. That's crazy.
So they're hooked up to machines and they're thinking
They're
about
monitoring it, yeah.
if they were running, and then they kept the same monitors on them when they were actually running, and it was like the same thing.
Well, they probably know that like your body
okay.
activates these muscles when you run or your stimulant, and then like they have these people just sitting there, and their minds like firing the same things, like they're thinking about it, but it's like obviously they're not doing it, but they're imagining it.
Mhm.
What the hell? Me, this is me in my room. This guy's like with his eyes closed like he's driving a fucking big motor Chevy. You know what's funny is that when Mom said that thing about the truck today, I was like, I've been thinking about like, oh, I should get another truck because I really like a truck.
Savage.
You know what's funny? And I was like, and dude, if they want to sell it to me for $1,000, I don't care how many miles it's got on it. It's gonna be a reliable truck, and I can fucking still drive it to Houston back, and that'd be sick. And then I could fit that truck in my storage unit, and I could take it apart, and I could fucking do what I wanted to do. So tell me how funny that is, because that's all I've ever wanted was another vehicle to do. Like clean that, dismantle it, it runs. Like literally take the body off it. I was thinking about actually taking the dash out of it and fucking putting the dash like in, see if I could take the dash out of my car and see if it like how long it was and measuring it and stuff.
Yeah.
And doing all this stuff. And here it is, like right before me, like, and it's funny because if Bear said, "Oh, I'm just gonna buy it no matter what." Okay, well then you buy it, and I'll pay you back a little bit more on top of what I'm paying you for my loan, especially if I start working at Gauthier.
Yeah.
And I'm working at Panera. Okay, like I'm down. Like I told Mom, but like, you know what I mean? Like I might need like time to get set up for that, cause like right now I'm like,
yeah.
But hopefully I get this job at Gauthier. I believe that I'm gonna get it. I believe they're gonna call me. I'm truly gonna just keep telling myself that they're gonna call me. I'm gonna get this job. And I'm gonna work with Sean McGovern, dude. I've always wanted to work with Sean. That'd be so fun. And low key, not to be like. So it's like, okay.
There you go.
Still do the podcast here.
There you go.
So it's cool. It's cool. I don't know. The secret, man. This isn't crazy. Huh. He made it the fucking phone. Alexander Graham Bell. Right? I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Believe in it, man. Just wow.
He's kind of talking about like what I was just saying, like
not just telling yourself, not faking it.
Like to actually be happy and grateful and like be a good person instead of being like, oh hey, like you know what I mean, like kind of like faking it, but like so you think you're being good, like
right, because then you'll get people around you that do the same thing.
Yeah,
and then you'll be disappointed. It's crazy.
Oh, people talk about vision boards all the time. I always keep thinking about doing it, and then I just never do it.
Having already have it. I think you already have it. You found it. Hmm. Mm. Wow. Wow. That's crazy.
People literally talk about vision boards like that, like, all the time. Like,
just seeing it come before you and being like,
yeah.
holy shit.
No, yeah,
like,
exactly.
This really fucking worked. Wow.
Because, like, I feel like I've heard so many people talk about it, and then, like, they're like, yeah, this shit fucking works. Wow. So I always, like, think about it to, like, make one, but then you kind of, like, I'm making it more dramatic than it has to be, like, because you gotta go find magazines to find pictures, but, like, whatever.
Yeah.
But that would be really interesting to, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's why, I mean, I don't want to divulge too much of my own shit, but this whole thing, you know what I'm talking about, with, like, Jake or whatever, it's just kind of, like, mind-blowing to me, because I feel like for the longest time, like, I've just said, like, my thing in life is I want, like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I don't know. So, and, like, all of a sudden it's, like, all unfolding in front of me, and it's, like, everything that I've ever wanted, and I'm just kind of, like, but I've just made it a persistent thing in my head. Like, this is something that I want to do in life, and then all of a sudden it's coming, like, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Like, I just still, like, I'm still in that dream. Who's waking me up? I don't know.
No, seriously, that's how I've been, too, and, like, I just didn't think I could do this at first, this whole school and shit, and I just been telling myself, like, dude, I'm going to be a welder, I'm going to work on cars, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to do all these things, I'm going to, like, get the job, I'm going to do that, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to, you know what I mean? Like, and it's just, I'm slowly just grinding and taking the steps to do it, and it's just, I just keep getting better and better at it, I guess. Trying to make myself what I want to be.
Yeah, I mean, like, at the end of the day, you can only control yourself, too, you know what I mean? So, like, you have to do everything that's best for you, and, like, what's gonna make you happy, and, like, I don't know, like, you can't live for other people, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta do you, bro.
It's funny, too, because people probably watch this and be like, bullshit. Total bullshit. I'm just totally thinking about that. Like, people will probably watch it and be like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm just going to be like, I'm not saying that it's greatly made. I'm not saying that it's entertaining to the max. I'm saying that, like, listen to the message. And people are probably still going to be like, you're a dumbass. Why'd you waste your time watching that and talking about it for 2 hours?
Yeah, but, like, people, that's, like, the difference. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like
100,000. I'm definitely doing that.
I'm about to do it.
I'm definitely doing that.
Something's got to come my way. Make $100,000 a year.
Oh my god, dude.
So this guy had $1 bill, and he made it turn, like, at the top of it wrote like $100,000, and he's like envisioning, I'm gonna have $100,000 a year income.
Oh, see, but like, it doesn't just come to you.
Oh, so now he's thinking.
So he thought of the idea. It came to him. The idea, to $100,000 idea, just came to him. So it's not like he just was given $100,000. It was like, here's the opportunity for $100,000.
Yeah.
You know, so it's crazy.
So what did he do? Make a book?
Yeah, he said he'd written a book a couple years earlier and hadn't really published it and hadn't gone anywhere. Yeah.
Damn, what's his book?
Okay. So he did a talk to sell his book because it hadn't really been selling, and now some other ladies asked him for an interview.
Oh, because he was just saying how where she works or whatever, and he was
Yeah.
looking at that magazine, and she
Yeah.
actually worked for that magazine.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, because he's saying how, like, if I was an Esquire magazine, then I'd be good. And then she, fucking whatever,
Yeah.
was the approval for that. Yeah, right. So you didn't get 100,000, you got 92,000, but it's like, hey,
It's close enough.
that's what I asked for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Wow. That's so crazy. I'm about to totally like wrap my head about that and be like, I got this, dude. It's good. I always tell myself that too. I try not to get like upset about financial situation. I'm trying to be like always like, nah, dude. Like next paycheck, I got it all figured out. I got it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll do this.
I feel like, yeah, like you're saying,
Like
like
I didn't even pay my storage unit yet.
Oh,
When
yeah.
I called her, I left her a message and I was like, hey, I'm gonna pay you a late payment just so you know, blah blah. Like I know it's not your problem, but I just would like to inform you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she didn't call me back. She didn't say nothing because I've done it before. I just write the check for more.
Yeah.
But I'm talking wicked far away again.
Damn.
I'm stretching.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it. Like I said, just intend it.
It is crazy though, because I feel like for a long time, like I used to stress so much about money, you know what I mean? And like I feel like the whole school thing like really put me in a rut, because I'm like, fuck, like I'm gonna be in debt for the rest of my life. But now I've just kind of come to the circumstances like, yeah, I'm probably gonna be in debt for a really long time, but I'll just hack away at it as much as I can, you know what I mean? Like, there's only so much I can do. And like getting this job is like nice because it's like, it's up to me, like how much I earn, you know what I mean? Like I can pick up as much overtime as I want. So like at the end of the day, it's been great because I've been making extra payments on fucking everything. So I'm trying to get out of this hole as fast as I can. But it's just like funny how things work, like how you're like, I don't know, stressed about something, and then you're just like, nah, don't worry about it. It'll work out. And then it works out.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. We can't afford that. That's so funny. And then it becomes everything. Then you can't attract. Then you're like, oh, now we can't afford anything. We can't afford that either. We can't. You know what I mean? It just comes. That's so funny because people always say that. People always like, my family were so poor. It was always that we couldn't have this. We couldn't have that. You have that? Wow, that was a commodity. We didn't have that. You know what I mean? But it's like if everyone just said like, oh, I'll get that one day. I'll buy that one day. You know what I mean? I'll have enough money one day to be like that person that uses that product or whatever. It's like a name brand or something.
Mm.
It's just so funny. That's so funny. Changing his bank account statement to just look at it.
Yeah, but checks from where? Where is he getting checks from?
I don't know. I think he's a broker.
Oh. I'm like, how the hell? I'll start imagining checks coming in the mail and give me cash money, you know what I'm saying?
Life is a mindset. That's so true. Like, you live in this sad, depressed world and you're fucked, man. I don't know. That's so, like, that's, insane to me, dude. I just can't believe it. That like I said, I just keep coming back to this realization, like, yo, I figured this out, and this is reassuring, like, so much shit for me. It's just like,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. It's so hard to like to watch this and just like keep talking and like try not to just zone out. Like,
Yeah.
get lost. It's so funny. But I don't know. It's just so interesting, and it's like such a different like idea.
Yeah.
But, like I feel like no one really teaches this stuff, and it's like people should be shoving this down everyone's throat.
Yeah.
Like, why do the people that see this like don't do that? And like they made this movie at least. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like what we were talking about earlier. Like when I was talking about all the documentaries about like veganism and stuff, because I kind of feel like. So in one of those documentaries, it was talking about like a woman activist who was like so like strong, like hardcore, like preaching about veganism, and she actually got shot and killed by some government. I don't think it was like the United States. It might have been. I don't know. I don't want to quote anything because I don't feel like I'm talking right. But so it's like when you're going against that norm and like that curve, like you're putting yourself out on the line. So it's almost like weird that like he was allowed to put those documentaries out, because that's almost like kind of starting a revolution. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the government doesn't want you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So how is it okay for like some of these documentaries to come out, but I don't know. Is it because like they just know people are just going to be skeptical anyway? So I mean, yeah, like some people are going to believe it and they're going to change their lifestyle, but not everyone's going to. So like fuck it. Like let the few people do what they want, but we still got an upper hand on everything. Like
that's what I'm saying, but it's like if it turned into like more people than not, then like why is that such a bad thing?
Yeah. Because it's affecting them at the end of the day. You know
it's
what
like
I mean?
I feel like that's so crazy, because it's like I always try to defend it, but like now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, it's like, do you really need the lower and middle class? Like, do you like why can't everybody just be like at a good point, or like they bring what they want, so why can't everyone just bring what they want? Like the idea of true freedom.
Yeah.
Like no manipulation, no freaking pollution, no like pollution of like media, like society, the stigmas, all that stuff. Like why can't it just come down to like let the people bring upon them what they want? Like, you know what I mean? Like a free realm society. Like everybody goes to like a basic, like just in like we have the resources to like make the entire world, like America, like sustainable living, plumbing, like on that basis, like a sustainable society with like drinking water, streets, you know what I mean, industry, business, keeping it like fundable. But also, why can't we just give the information out there and let the people decide how they design it, how they whatever, and like who does what, because I'm based on who they and what they want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like almost like a UN of like education on what you reap is what you sow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like that would be such a good idea. The fact that if you gave that across the board, then let's see what happens. Let's see what we can generate as a society, and we would probably make this Earth like a crazy megalithic structure, and we'd probably be able to figure out the truths, and if whatever that space travel and going into the stars and finding other life, maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe we could reach that point in society, or even the advancements in AI and like making like them have like a bigger play in society, because basically the idea with AI is the fact that they're going to surpass our intelligence anyway, so it doesn't matter. When that happens, they'll help us increase our intelligence, and like they'll rapidly increase us, and we'll kind of slowly catch up, hopefully. You know what I mean? If not, then we'll be like a coalition of AI and human intelligence to like build whatever in the future. And maybe that's the key to getting into like this traveling at the speed of light, and like, or if even faster than speed of light, where you're like there's theories on like basically picture, you always remember like physics class, right? Where like they describe gravity as like a fabric, like the sun gravitates more, so that's why everything gets pulled around. It's like a big, I could probably find it on fucking YouTube, honestly. Blanket, yeah. That's like the way to describe it.
Actual blankets.
I wonder if this is anything yet. Oh. Illustration. That's not how you spell illustration, it's fine.
All these weighted blankets.
Like, yeah, literally, like, I can't find, like, I literally say gravity.
I didn't even know that was a thing. A gravity blanket. So weighted blanket. It's very popular, apparently.
Apparently. What the fuck is this? Look at that go. Oh, hear that go. Oh, here you go. This is what I want. Fucking ads, man. I have. Oh, I'm not signed into my other account. I was like, I have YouTube Red. It's like the way he describes, like, okay, like, you picture that's the sun, right? And like when it comes down, he's doing like eclipses and dropping it weird, but it's like picture lights are weighted down, and like we're moving.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing is going to the left, like it's a whole big circle, like basically with all these clamps, and like the middle's weighted down.
Like talking for
Oh yeah, so everything being weighted down and like showing that everything moving in one direction. When we're moving clockwise around it, it's like we're like slowly like moving out of it, but it's like keeping us in place because it's like the perfect amount of gravity. That's the thing, is like this isn't like a balanced thing. Like when he's dropping this, it's like why it does like the optical or like the eclipsed or orbital fucking path. So if it was perfectly weighted, that's what you'd get. And that's why I think it's like so interesting, is that like I forgot where I was even fucking going with this, to be honest with you.
I'm not sure. You were talking about like the sun and the earth gravitating closer to the sun.
I forgot where I was going. Trying to show that like I don't even remember, man. Fuck. Because they were talking about something. I don't remember. What the fuck were they just talking about? I don't. Oh, I was fucking. Dude! I was talking about something. I was talking about fucking. I don't know. I really don't know.
Lost. We're lost.
I
Completely lost.
no fucking clue.
You were just talking about pretty much having like free range to pretty much do whatever you want, and like you said something about the UN and like.
Well, because maybe I think I was saying something. Oh yeah, like that education, and saying how that maybe we could figure out the truths, and like, I mean, if there is flat, is not flat. You know what I mean? Whatever the real thing is, but. It's funny that like everything works. Like there's gotta be some higher consciousness keeping this, like, you know what I mean? Because
like I don't know, like sometimes
it's
I'm
either
like,
that or we're the center of the universe.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, because I just feel like when I was in earth science, Mr. Tag came up with this thing where he thinks that, like, you know how, like, if we pick up a flower and there's, like, ants crawling on it, like, that's, like, what we are. Right. We're, like, the ants crawling on the
Well, because even if you think about it, like, the whole aspect of what they were talking about in this was, like, what you make is what you get, right? So it's like if we have a whole collection of people believing that we're the only ones, or there maybe possibly is, but they're probably so far away, you know what I mean? Like they don't exist, or they're not like us. But that's what you make. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or like if everybody believed that we were the center of the universe, then wouldn't we make that? Wouldn't the collective make that, like, we're the center of the universe, and like this is the model scale of like the Milky Way is like the poster child for like the rest of the universe.
Yeah.
And like I always kind of had that theory, and I think it's where like the flat earthers kind of come into play, because I think they're onto something. I think we're not told everything about it, but like I think we are like the poster child for it, and I think that like it's just been copy and pasted over and over again, and it's like sometimes it's like because it didn't account, which would be weird that it wouldn't account for this, the fact that like this one affected the sheet of gravity in the whole space, right? Because now everything's kind of directed towards that, but everything's moving in one direction. So then it's like the more stuff you paste, not only is it like heavier, but everything's moving differently, and it'll be like lopsided, or depending on how everything balances out.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like that's why you get that is like some of those planets are like too far away from the sun. It's like you don't get the perfect Goldilocks conditions because we're just what we copied and pasted in an algorithm over and over and over again. And it's like some of it got fucked up, some of them worked, some of them didn't. Some of them are bigger, some of them were too close and they went to each other, imploded, made a black hole. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I feel like, because even in this grand design book, they've been talking about how there's so much stuff that's so solidly scientific, right? But it's only when you're looking at it in that instance, and it's like you can't make that as a blanket statement. Like they were talking about all these things where they're pushing molecules at like a barrier that had 2 slits in it, and they could pretty much predict where it went depending on how they aimed it or whatever, and like during those conditions. And they did the same thing with a soccer player, and like with 2 gaps, and he could kick it, and it was pretty reasonable, like which way he had to kick it and how he could figure it out. And they're like, okay, so you can predict that, right? But it's only one instance, and that's only one circumstance. So it's like, what does that prove? They're like, you just proved that this is possible, and like in this instance, but like, cool. You know what I mean? And it's like we make that own reality that like, oh, the percentages of someone standing in the middle, and like because they're saying like you only have this much of a gap really that has to be open to like make it, and they're like, with all this stuff could be a variable. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was so weird, like the way he explains it. It sounds way better. But
how far are you in that book?
I'm pretty far. I'm on like chapter 4. I just had a bunch of stuff on like reality and like what our perception is of reality is. Here, I can grab this.
Yeah, I only think I read like maybe half of the first chapter. And,
really?
So I don't even.
So, this is The Grand Design by Stephen Hawking and Leonard. I don't know how to say his name. Sorry. The mystery of being, the rule of law, what is reality, alternate histories, theory of everything, choosing our universe, the apparent miracle, the grand design. So, the mystery of being was like, kind of like why, and like showing the world map and like understanding all the physical laws of like the world and shit. It was like super weird. Like, why do we exist? What is a particular set of laws and not some others? Like, why do things happen and why do they not happen?
Yeah.
And they pretty much figured out like that quantum physics kind of is that because it's so unpredictable and it's such like an algorithm that like they keep finding out is like so true with a lot of things. And it's super weird. They reference a lot of these old characters, all these old scientists that do this. But I like this one a lot. Was like, what is reality? And they actually talk about Italy, like a couple hundred years ago, had a law that said you couldn't have your fish in a round fishbowl because it gave him a false perception of what was real. Because what would move straight across the bowl from him would be in a curved, squiggly line to him, and he wasn't seeing what was true. And they thought that was wrong, right? So that was an actual law. And then they said, well, let's relate this to everything. Like, what if we're kind of like in this false perception that everyone's under this assumption that something that's not true?
Yeah.
And that's what makes me feel like the flat earth people, I don't really know enough about it, but like they're on to something because they're like, okay, I'm not saying for a fact, but like they have a lot of evidence that proves that like maybe we are in this false sense of like a fishbowl. Like,
yeah,
they're telling us is this, but it's not. And like if we understood that it wasn't that, then maybe we would get kind of onto the secret of like all this other stuff. You know what I mean? Like maybe everything would just snowball from that point. Like, and that's like another one of those big things. Like if you realize the stuff that we're talking about in this documentary, The Secret, and then if you realize this, then you're like, oh, okay, everything makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's like,
isn't
you don't
that
realize
crazy?
either one.
It's just like crazy how everything like overlaps. You know what I
That's
mean?
what I'm
Like that's
saying.
what we were just talking about. We were just talking about how everything overlaps, or it's like it's great having these conversations because people know about one thing and then you know about another thing,
Yeah.
and then they're talking. They're like, "Whoa, wait a minute, what did you just say?"
Exactly.
And then like it just all overlaps over each other. Like, I don't know.
It's like, I just can't believe it. So I guess that whole thing with the kicking the soccer ball was like alternate histories, and saying that like you can predict it, but it's like there's a possibility of outcomes, and no matter what, based on what happened to begin with, that's what predicts what's going to happen. So it's like if it's changed each time, then the outcomes are infinite. if you're always like changing and turning over and like believing this or believing that or looking over here. So I thought that was pretty interesting. It's really good. I'm really enjoying it. It's like, it's difficult. It's kind of a difficult read at this point because I'm like, what the fuck is that word?
Yeah, I feel like that's why it was hard for me to start reading it, if that makes sense.
I mean, a lot of it I
because,
could
like,
read, but some of the words
like,
I was like,
yeah,
I'm
you're
not
just
sure.
like,
I think I know. I can assume based on context. And then I look it up and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I was kind of half right, but like,
it's like super like.
I mean, it's Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, exactly. So like, there were so many times where I'm like, wait a minute, let me read this again.
Yeah.
And then you're like, damn, I really don't know what the fuck's going on.
It's just so crazy that like all this stuff with The Secret and everything else is just, I figured it out. Like even knowing that like areas and like places have their auras and memories and energy too, that like you leave there and like it brings upon you, like being around certain places and even like what you said, people that affects you and that influences your thought and what's in your head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's so, I just can't believe that. It's so nuts. Like, you surround yourself with bad people, you're probably going to become a bad person. And that's, like, basic criminology. Like, previous offenders, like, future criminality. They are, like, adolescents. Like, there's, like, a bunch of things that Mr. Kelly used to always say. He'd be like, future criminality is based on adolescence, juvenility. You know what I mean? Juvenility. And like that makes sense because it's like what you are in the past. If you don't get out of that habit and you're stuck in those ways, being those bad kids, doing those bad things, then you're gonna become an adult doing those bad things, being a bad. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I don't know. I'm fucked up. I just don't fucking know.
No, but I know what you're saying. That's why. I don't know. That's why I got out of the situation I was in, because I just feel like I was surrounded by super negative fucking people all the time. And then like listening to the things that they would say, and they're always like, you know, like talking shit or making fun of people, and you're just kind of like, you just kind of like blow it off, or like sometimes you say something like, yo, shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of a sudden you find yourself doing the same thing, and you're like, whoa, all right, things gotta change here. So I don't know. I know what you're saying, though.
If you love yourself, you love others. That's the truth. 'Tis the truth.
My children are so lazy. That's Mom. She's gonna watch us and be like, of course.
This is what they did on Friday night. They did nothing but sit there and talk. Kind of was really weird. I don't know what the hell's going on with them. Fucking hell. Yeah.
What the fuck? It's like funny when you're like listening to them talk, but then like the acting that's going on in the background is just so bad.
Yeah.
It's just terrible, but it like makes sense.
It's so funny that they're saying that, because it's like, you always think that, like, yo, if you just thought of everything good that we have and everything that's good that's going, it would probably work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, especially in relationships, like, not even like based off my, like, I mean, based off my past stuff, but like, even just like hearing a lot of other people's stuff, and just knowing that like one person's mad about something and they continue to bring it up and they continue to like live in that, and it's like they're just waiting for it to happen again, so then they push that person to do it again, and they get disappointed that they wanted that, and it's just like, that's what you told them to do subconsciously, and they did it, and that's what you asked for, and now you're mad.
Yeah.
But it's like, you asked for what you didn't want.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. Like, you just like they said, just appreciate what they are and what they bring you. and how happy it is. Like, you know, it's like, it's just so funny that people are so hungry and they always want more and nothing's ever enough. And it's just like, you gotta be so like content. And the gratitude thing they're talking about is like, be happy with what you have and generate more if you want more.
No, seriously.
It's just nuts. Can't believe it. Can't believe this is out there for the masses and no one acknowledges it. I just find out about it now, 2019. 13 years later, it's been out. Somehow the grand elite scheme, media, scamming, whatever, haven't pulled this and been like, what the fuck? You can't tell people this.
You can't tell people about the secret.
There'll be millionaires on every corner. It's funny because remember I always talked about like buying the house and like doing all this stuff, and I was like, I'm just gonna keep telling myself that.
Just buy the house.
I just feel like that'd be so crazy. And it's like funny because I always told myself as a kid that like New York State would legalize marijuana. I was always like, it's happening. It'll happen in my day. Like people will legalize it. Like I know for sure that it'll go across the board in my day.
I mean, it only fucking makes sense, to be honest with you, but.
You'll experience everything good for you. It's just sound corny. Like that's what I was telling Chris last night. I was like, this sounds so corny, but it's like if you just like actually took the message serious, like who knows? Maybe your life will change. And I hope that anybody that's listening to this like considers it. You know what I mean? For half a minute, or if you're even listening to this, then you are considering it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're
well, that's what I'm
interested.
saying. Like I feel like most of the stuff I keep saying, like, oh, you know, it's like cliche, but it's like it's definitely like true. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's why like I feel like I just changed my whole mindset on a lot of things, and like I don't know, I feel like a lot like once I was done with school and then came home, like it was kind of like crazy because I actually like I felt like I had to deal with a lot of like personal shit because it was like I was always pushing it off, if that made sense. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I'm not gonna downplay like anxiety or depression and shit, you know what I mean? Because, you know, like it's like a real thing. But at the same time, like I think it kind of goes back to this too. Like if you're constantly thinking like negative thoughts and like, wow, like nothing's gonna change, then like nothing's gonna change and you're gonna continue to be depressed and anxious or whatever, you know what I mean? Like I literally had to drag myself out of fucking bed and like do things because like if I didn't, then I was gonna be like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like I told myself I wasn't going to take medicine for stupid shit. Well, it's not stupid, but you know what I mean? Like I wasn't going to take the medicine prescribed to me for anxiety because like, not
this
about
is so
that
funny
life.
You're saying this because me and Chris were talking about this last night too, like pills and all that stuff. Like you can go on, sorry.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I just figured like it's all in your head. Like I feel like a lot of people get pissed when that statement's made about like anxiety. Like just don't think about it. Like just get over it. Oh, you think it's that easy, but it's like, we create our own problems.
It's not that easy, but it's like that's what it is. Like that's what you have to do.
Like you know how like you just gotta take time for yourself. Like you gotta sit down and say like, you know, I don't know. I think mental health is a huge thing and we don't focus on that. And like that's like I feel like that should almost be like part of like the educational system. You know what I mean? But nobody teaches you that. Like guys,
there's zero that teaches you about anything remotely like this. Like about like. What do you want? Like, just believe in that. Like, I never learned any. There's not even like a. Just put a spirituality class or some shit and just teach about auras and all this shit and like how everything's connected. Like, that's all it takes. And like, and teach like the histories and the maths. Like, you need that because like people will find that interesting. They'll like that and they're like, that's what I want to do. Like, I want to be a fucking mathematician and fucking be a physicist and do all the math. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's people that are meant to do that and like. You don't have to push anybody to do it. And it's like if people go towards one way, then that's just the way it goes.
Yeah,
like,
just
that's
give
just the
like
era
more
of people.
options, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just so crazy. Because it's like I think about that with criminal justice. Like I really enjoyed it. I really wanted to do it. But it's like I felt like I had to choose something. I had to like really find something that I like thought was a good idea, what I kind of wanted to do, where I wanted to be. And it's so funny because it's like it's who I am. Like I'm a kind, outgoing person that's like willing to communicate with just about anybody and like understand them on a basic level and talk to them and whatever, figure out what's wrong. So it's like that's a police officer right there, like someone that's got to be outgoing, courageous, and fucking be able to talk to people, like.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like that's who I am, but I was like forced in that shell, you know what I mean? Like, because it's like that's who I am, so like that's the only job I really know of. But it's like really, I can do whatever I want and still be that person. And I didn't really look at it like that.
Yeah.
I looked at it like I need to mold myself.
Well,
Not like I need to mold my career based on who I am type thing. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's another thing too, is I feel like there is so much pressure to like make up your mind, like
you're going to school or you're not going to school.
As soon as you're like done with high school, and to me like that's crazy. Like we're 18 years old, we're pretty much like a fucking still a child, and you're like, yeah, go make a life decision for like
that you're gonna do for
the rest of your life. Like even still, like I'm not 100% sure. Like I feel like I needed to go to college, you know what I mean? Like, if I didn't go to college, I wouldn't be who I am right now, because when you're growing up in this small little fucking town, like, you don't see a lot of shit, you know what I mean? So I'm super grateful I got to have that experience, but it's, like, common sense shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what I got taught, like, I could have probably looked all that shit up online. I mean, that's probably for, like, a lot of stuff. Like, it's
right.
all the information's out there. You just gotta actually, like, look for it.
Right. I know, because you said that to me before.
Yeah.
Saying that, like, I went to school to figure out the world, and you literally sat here in your room and figured it out.
Yeah, like, it's just
so
like
funny.
crazy. But I mean, like, even still, sometimes I question, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, even still, like, I got my bachelor's degree and people are like, so what do you want to do with your life? I'm like, I don't really know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure it
I mean,
out.
I guess that's like in today's society, like that helps. Like you could say that I have that. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty much all you are paying to say that. You put the time in, and I have that. And that's pretty much what I did with this welding school. It's like I could have taught myself. I could have bought a welder and gone on YouTube and figured out myself and probably become a half decent welder, or probably the welder I am right now.
Yeah.
You know, but like I paid to get like the certificate and paid to take the test and pay to get all these things done.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just the way society rolls. It's like you need like the proof that like you put the time in and like you can show yourself type thing. Like it's so weird. Such a weird thing.
Yeah. I mean, because at the end of the day, like, my still dream job would to literally sit in a room and fucking like draw and paint like all day.
Like,
you know what I mean?
This guy, like, this is so crazy right here. Like, this guy gets in an accident and he told himself that like he kept writing it down. Like, I will walk out of here by Christmas. And I don't know how close it was, but like even with my teacher, he just had a heart attack and he told himself when he went there, he's like, I'm walking out of here by the end of the week. And like they didn't let him walk out of there by the end of the week, but they let him walk out there on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, or like I will be back at work on Monday, and he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, or like he said he was coming on Thursday, and he came in on Thursday. Like he was out of the hospital, but he just like stayed home and like relaxed and like, you know what I mean? Took some time to like just breathe.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny that like even at that age, like he's probably a really good example of it, and he's like kind of a douchey person and like makes you feel shitty sometimes. But like I think he means good intentions, because it's like he keeps telling himself all these things like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna lose weight, I'm gonna eat better, and he's done all of those things, and he's like always told himself like I'm gonna work hard, I'm gonna be a good welder, and like he's probably one of the best welders in Syracuse. You know what I mean? Like he's one of those people that people call from like around here and are like, I got this little small job, do you want to do it? Like, you know what I mean? Because there's no one else that'll do this. No one else can take stainless around here or take aluminum. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. And I don't know, I think it's so funny that they're talking about all this stuff, and I just keep, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything else
like
just keeps unfolding, and you're just like,
see it
wow,
everywhere.
it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's craziness. This guy's voice is funny.
Once you get connected to your mind, you just can see
It's so
everything.
true though. Like I just. I don't know. And it's like I do that all the time with, like I talked about with the, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna get pulled over. The cops are gonna be there, and I see them, and it's like, it's not what I thought it was gonna happen, but it was what I was thinking it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. I feel like I always do that all the time. Deja vu, and like we said earlier, the dream.
Deja vu is real, bro.
All the time.
Real.
All the time.
Or like the whole dream thing. Like I don't know. I think I need to start taking the CBD oil again before bed, because like I haven't been taking it, but I've noticed that like I don't know, like my anxiety's like kicking back in a little bit, but I think I need to start taking it more regularly. I don't know, it's like weird. Like some nights I have like super vivid dreams, and then like I can go weeks and I feel like I'm not having a fucking dream. And I'm like, what's up? Like
that's weird.
Like last night I had like a super vivid dream, but it was like a dream. It wasn't a bad dream, but I just almost like wish I didn't have it. You know what I mean? Like, or like the people that were involved in it, you're just like, why? Why did this just happen? Like, is this like a future thing? Is it like a subconscious thing? Like, is it, I don't know, like, should it have happened and it didn't? Or like, I hope it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I guess from The Secret, you just got to believe that it's not going to happen and tell yourself.
I hope it doesn't.
That's craziness. It really is. I just, I don't know. Man. We got 20 minutes left, man. I'm just gonna let this run in the background. That's what we'll probably just cut it. I think we're almost like 2.
Yeah, probably.
So you got 20 minutes left. Yeah, we're at 1:53.
All right.
That's pretty solid, dude. Pretty solid. Like 2 hours. Like that's always solid for me. Like once I hit 2 hours, I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Like whenever anybody wants to dip. It's such a crazy like grasp, and like we can keep saying this all night, dude. Like. No one's like, there's gonna be people that are gonna tell you this is bullshit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's so sad because it's like, if this is true, and it's like we seem to keep bringing evidence that it is, even though we're like kind of just coming to the realization of it. It's just so crazy to me that some people will literally can have all the facts right in front of them, the truth's right in front of them, and no one, can know, and you can't see it, and it's just so crazy.
That's like, bringing it back to the whole vegan thing, like people literally will tell me like you're wrong, and I'm like,
but it's what I believe, and it's what I want,
like,
so it's
that's
like
your opinion.
You believe that and go ahead, like
that's your opinion, but like I feel like I've done enough research on my own like to know like what I'm doing is like good, like I feel good, it's my like contribution to like what I have to provide to the world, you know what I mean? Like I think that's the other thing that drives me insane, because people are like, well, you're only one person, you think drinking out of your metal straw is gonna make a difference? To me, yeah, because if you think about it,
you see me drinking out of it, and then I tell you, hey, I bought this on here, and then you buy, and then you never use a straw again, well, that's 2 people,
and that's like probably like a good 100,000 straws that aren't being used because we both decided to never use a straw again because we got a metal straw. I don't know, it's like stupid shit like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's just so difficult because like the stigma of society and how you're brought up and everything is just like, you don't give a shit. You're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
My car's clean, dirty. Like, open the door, throw it in the parking lot, drive away. You know what I mean? Like people do that all the time, and it's just like, it's so hard to get out of that because you, like you said, you grow in that habit and you just don't think twice about it. You don't even like acknowledge it. You know what I mean?
Like I've had conversations with people too, like talking about like, for the most part, like I chose to be vegan because of the animals, like, because like to me, like I can't even picture, like, I don't know, like I've changed my outlook on a lot of like animals, like even like the smallest animals, like bugs or like mice and shit. Like we look at those things at like super inconvenience and like almost like they don't matter, you know what I mean? Like we have to get rid of them, but at the end of the day, like they still feel shit. They're like, they're literally like us, but they're 10 million times smaller, you know what I mean? So like, why is it okay?
And that's so funny that you say that, because it's like they definitely do what they want and they create what they, and that's like why we don't understand them sometimes, because we're like, well, what are they doing? Why do they do this? Well, that's what they want to do, and that's what they have to do to survive. They know that they have to do that to survive.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Because like we had,
I never really thought of it like that.
Yeah,
honestly.
because we had like mice in one of the rooms at work, and they were like setting up traps, like not like the other like snap traps, but like
the ones they get stuck in,
fucking glue trap. And I'm like, can we just like capture it and like let it go? And like I know like they always come back if you let them go, so you can't just let them go, but like
I'll bring it down the road.
I don't know, like it was just it was so like I felt so bad because they were like catching them, and I'm just like it's not like they instantly die when they get on the glue trap. Like they're still alive, they're just fucking stuck. And if you try and take those motherfuckers off, you're ripping them off. And like, so not only that, but then like they're just gonna suffer pretty much until they die. So unless you kill them, type of thing. But I don't know, I just like feel bad. I don't think I could ever do that to like anything anymore. Like I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I probably don't think that way when it comes to spiders because those things scare the fuck out of me. But, you know, I had
look at me, I was fucking, I had them in a water bottle at one point. I had a bunch of them, like, breeding like an ultimate spider. It was like UFC in a fucking 16-ounce water bottle.
I just, like, I don't know, like, I just don't feel bad for spiders, I guess. Like, they just creep me out, and I don't want to get, like, I mean, if I had a choice, like, if I could somehow capture it and, like, let it go outside, but I don't know. It's just, like, a whole different viewpoint on things. Like, like where I was trying to, like, say was telling people about the whole veganism thing and talking about the suffering of animals and then watching those slaughter videos. And some people are like, yeah, I've seen them. I just don't really care. I'm like, oh, okay, so that shows your true character. Because, like...
that you're selfish.
Yeah. Or, like, yeah, I see what's really in that chicken nugget or that hot dog, but it tastes good, so I don't care.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm like, what? Like...
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I think What the Health. Sometimes I'm trying to figure out which one's better, What the Health or Cowspiracy. Cowspiracy definitely got me, but What the Health is filled with so much information about that whole thing, and it's just like, I don't know, like the way that shit reacts in your body, like it makes so much sense, like. That's why a lot of things continue to go on the way they do in the world, like cancer, sickness, all these corporations getting funded by certain things, like all the health industries, like American Heart Association, like breast cancer awareness, like that whole Susan G. Coleman, I don't even know, but like for breast cancer, like all these different cancers, all these different health websites are all funded by the meat and dairy industry. So they're going to just keep promoting to eat meat and dairy because then cancer still exists. And then that also helps like the whole like doctors funding all that.
There
like,
are other institutes.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. But when you watch it, you're just like, holy fuck, I didn't know that.
Somebody who thought of that and was like, yo, this is a genius idea. Like all these people will never think of it. All these people will do this and we'll make a fuck ton of money. Because that's what I wanted. I wanted a bunch of money.
I can't.
It's just crazy.
It's just like ridiculous.
It is.
So like that's my rebellion, my revolution that I'm creating, like, and just spreading the word. Like it's like a lot of people ask me about it. A lot of people seem interested, but it's because they're not making those connections. But you know, I'll have the conversation. You want to think about it for a little bit, but I'm telling you watch those documentaries, I don't know.
Crazy.
Yeah. This guy's hilarious. I don't know why. He just looks funny.
Everything is energy. I totally believe that. Like I totally started seeing that like a lot more recently.
That's like I'm also reading that book Wheels of Life, talking about the chakra system and stuff like that.
Oh, look at they're doing the fucking Da Vinci fucking man.
Yeah.
And how everything's in perspective and perfect alignment with the earth, and how like if you take the scale of like a circle around the Da Vinci man and then you take like the circle of the head, like the radius of that, and then you put it right above that circle, those proportions are the same proportions of the earth and the moon.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. Like that's just so weird. Or like the moon's just really crazy. The depth of the craters and how they only go to certain depths and how they kind of figured out it was hollow because they let off fucking nuclear bombs on it and shit. Dude, you know what's funny? I'm thinking about this as I'm talking, is that today I was talking about how I read an article and there was like, I don't know if it was true or not or what the whole thing was, but it was like people in China, Muslim, like Chinese people, were supposedly getting put in like concentration camps. And I was reading this article and it's saying like how like no one's really acknowledging it, and it's like could become a very bad thing. And that like
it's happening now?
Yeah, like currently.
Oh, did not know that.
And there was this kid in my class who was like, that's not happening. Like he was like saying all this shit on his breath, but like wouldn't like say it to me.
Yeah.
And like I was talking to Gordy about it in front of like the whole class, and he was just saying that to somebody else, and like my friend Ben was like kind of looking around like, all right, dude, like I don't really know either, and I don't know what he read. So if he's saying he read that, then it's a possibility. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just so annoying that people were like, no way, there's no fucking no. Like whatever, they just have like a fucking stroke about the fact that there's not a possibility in their mind that it could happen. But it's like, how do you know, dude? It's that easy. Fucking World War II happened that quick. You know what I mean? Everyone was like, no, it's fine. We'll just let them do what they're doing. They're just whatever. Those people are bad. And then all of a sudden it's fucking millions and millions of people later, and they're like, oh shit, we fucked up and ignored it for too long, and it snowballed. Because those people were doing what they thought they wanted. I don't know, this whole Muslim thing and just this drama in the Middle East is so annoying. Like, just everybody just get over it. Like, who cares? Why can't everybody? There's enough oil to serve like the entire world. Here. We don't even need to use oil. Like, we were generating so many like electric motors and this and that and whatever. And like, it's just so crazy to me that like that's all what it's all about. It's just about like, can we make money off oil? It's like, no, let's make money off fucking hydrogen power and stuff like that. Like, let's make. Why can't we make the same exact technology motors we have that run off hydrogen? I don't get that. They seem to have a lack in power or something. Like, why can't we just make the hydrogen process the same process we do for petroleum? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then use the petroleum we have to fucking use to lubricate the cylinder still. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't make oil into gasoline. Like make ethanol motors that use oil to lubricate it too. It's like you can use the best of both worlds and not have to burn oil and put fossil fuels. Like, you can use oil as lubricant. Like, it's probably meant to be and not be processed down into gasoline. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like we took so many things and like made them something they weren't supposed to be, but they were here for a reason that they could have been used for the original reason, but science like kind of like went too much into it. I don't know. It's like even like health and stuff like that. It's like, if you just believe that you're healthy, then you'll be healthy and you'll fight it off. Or like, if you get sick and you tell myself I'm gonna get better, you get better. So it's like people that are always like, I need to go to the doctor and I need this. It's like, yeah, but then you went to the doctor and that's what gave you the reassurance to say that I'm gonna be better. It's like, who knows? Like, it probably helped you and it probably boosted what you were lacking, but your mind could have boosted what you were lacking.
Like the placebo effect.
Yeah, literally. And I bet you that's what half of it is. What if it is? What if it is? What if like in reality, you take a hydrocodone fucking 30 or something retarded, and you take it and you're like, I'm gonna be so fucked up, man. And then you take it and you're just like, oh my god. And then you throw up because you get so sick. You're like, that's the story. I was so fucked up, dude. I took a hydro. I puked. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that could be a plausibility, and like everybody could be living in this placebo effect world of, even like this, like I drink this, I'm like, yeah, I drink protein, bro, I'm gonna get fucking massive or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, or caffeine or alcohol. It's like, it probably does something to you, a chemical imbalance, but it's like, does it really do what you perceive, or is it you made it up from doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I know what you're saying, because
like you're noticing the difference in yourself, but it's not really what it is, like what you're making it out to be. Like, I wonder, dude, like that's a total possibility, and I don't know if you could necessarily prove that. Because it would be your own perception.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be what you make it. So it's exactly what they say. Like, you don't know what you see or what you feel or what you think is what, or how you feel when you drink 4 drinks. Because in your head, you're like, well, I'm small, and if I drink 4 drinks, I'm fucked up. But I'm like, oh, I'm a big dude. I'm drink 4 drinks, and I'm fine. But we're probably like the same weight. You know what I'm like? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, that's how I like maybe that is a possibility.
No, I feel like the same way with caffeine. Like, there's times where I'll drink like so much caffeine and it's not doing anything for me, but then I'm like constantly like, oh, I don't know if this is working, you know what I mean? But then there's days where I just drink like one drink and I'm hyped as fuck, and I'm just like, holy shit, I can do so much today, and I get all this shit done, and I'm like, wow. And then other days I'm like,
literally every day I'm driving to school, I take 2 of these, and I'll grab the one like while I'm driving because like I'm thirsty, and I'll be like, oh, this is waking me up right now. This is what I needed. And like every time I get to school, I don't want to drink the second one, but I drink the second one anyway because I'm like, you know what, like, all right, like I brought the second one, I'll drink it. It'll make me feel good too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I always feel better after I drink them, and then when I don't have them, I feel like I feel shitty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I run out and like I'm waiting for like the new shipment to come in, it's like, oh man. Like, I don't have this. And it's because I'm not telling myself that every day.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Is this the end? Oh, no, there's 10 minutes left. Your purpose.
We all have a mission in life, and I feel like a lot of people don't tune into that mission, if that makes sense. We're all caught up in this reality of social media and working a job and like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like everybody has a purpose and everybody has like a mission they need to complete, and a lot of people don't complete that mission, and you reincarnate and you come back and you probably still live a super shitty life, and you need to like figure it out. I don't know.
Totally just gonna do a transition for the last 10 minutes. Because I'm way too dumb to even remember to do it. But yeah, dude, I just can't believe this. Like this it's just, like I said, it's astonishing to me. It's out there, and no one buys into it. No one believes. You know what I mean? There's very few people. I know very few people that have had even like the slightest inkling of like this is a possibility. They're on the cusp of it. They're about to just unpull the blanket sheet, but they've only pulled off the corner, and they're just kind of like, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna see right now. You know what I mean? Like they're not like they're scared of it, but they just like don't know where to go from there. It's like they just need that push.
Yeah, but I can totally relate to that because I kind of feel like sometimes like I don't pursue yoga and meditation a lot. I really, really want to, but I like hold myself back because I'm just kind of scared to like see what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like if I made that hardcore part of my life like I really want to, like how is that gonna change me? Or like you know, we're talking about like vibrations and like energy and like meditating, like can I actually do that?
Yeah,
like
no, exactly.
I'm kind of scared. Like I can actually do that.
As much as I can. When I have like 15 minutes or something, I'll just sit there and just try to clear my head and then just think about all these things about like what I want to do and like where I want to be and like I just sit there like with whatever like classic music playing in the background or like meditation music or something. Just trying to keep myself in a good process and a good like grind state of like I do this because I have to and because it sucks and like this makes me a better person and I know it does. You know what I mean? Like, and I want to be that person, so you know.
Yeah, but I guess like in the same aspect, like you
like not only that it like not that it sucks, but it's like it's just not even like it's a chore almost. It's just like I have to do this to do this. You know what I mean? Like it's like a process and a step. It's like,
or like I guess you could also always look back on things. Like now, like as I'm sitting here talking about like the whole like kind of being scared, like I guess I was kind of almost being scared to be vegan because I never knew, you know what I mean? Like, can I actually do this?
Right. But can I commit?
But I'm doing it and I'm fine and everything's great. So I guess like sitting here thinking about it, I guess I should just fucking do it. Like I'm gonna be fine. Like it will be okay. Who's this guy?
I don't know.
I don't feel like we've seen these guys like the whole time.
This is that quantum physicist. I don't know, man. I think it's a good mentality to have, and I think it's like good that we're even sitting here talking about it, and whoever even sees this video after it's just posted, not even live, you know what I mean? That they can understand that it's a possibility, and maybe I'll think about it for half a second, and maybe I'll change my life even the slightest, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure.
I don't know. So, yeah, this is what this guy's talking about, imagine the world. We could go anywhere, we could do anything, we could achieve anything if everybody was about this.
Yeah.
See yourself for the good that you desire. Like, it just sounds like they're preaching. Like, what's what Chris said about this? He's like, something they're selling you something.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's like, they're literally
this
like,
guy, definitely, for sure. Look at him.
In this program, of course, you must believe me and buy this for 3 payments of $29.95 over the course of 4 years for the next eternity over your soul. Like, oh, okay, sure, I'll sign up. What's your credit card number?
Yeah, right.
Oh, God. Can't believe it's 10 o'clock right now.
I know. I was just looking at the time. I was like, damn.
10 o'clock. Well, I mean, I did fall asleep like a clown.
Gotta go make my lunch for this weekend because I gotta work those doubles.
Yeah, dude. Damn.
Damn.
I mean, we can stop whenever you want. I mean, I was going to stop in 4 minutes anyway, so.
No, yeah. Damn, look at those mountains. Where the
some
fuck is
crazy
that?
looking mountains. That's beautiful. Wow.
Wow.
It's an avocado.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Craziness. This moment right now, this is the epiphany. If you watch this with us, if you stuck in the full like 2 hours, the full hour and a half for the documentary, hearing us freaking talk about it, even
there
though we
was a
paused
reason.
They probably finished it a long time before we did because we paused it like 10 times. If they actually just watched it.
It's like been a 2 hour thing, but it's only like an hour.
Yeah, an hour and a half fucking movie. Seriously. I don't know. It's really like reassuring, and even if I saw this for the first time, maybe I would have brought myself to find some more of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I hadn't already known what I'd known, if I saw this, maybe it would have brought me to still find out what I know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the way it happened in some other reality. I don't know. That's so like they're showing like all these like tribes and stuff.
Yeah.
How crazy is that to think that like they literally all got in a circle, chanted, and believed that this was what was gonna happen, like rain dances and stuff like that, and then it rains.
Yeah.
Because like they wanted it to rain there, and like everybody in their little tribe and culture, whether it was 25 or 50 of them, all believed truly that they needed to rain to grow the crops to fucking survive. Tell me how funny that stuff is. Like you think about it in that aspect, it's like, people have been doing this for a while, and everyone's kind of just been like oblivious to it.
No, seriously.
That's crazy right there. That's gonna get the fucking FDA or FCC to blow on my fucking door because I said that right there. They're gonna be like, "Oh my god, that's the
made that
connecting
connection,
line.
motherfucker.
He said all this shit. It was so close. That's the connecting line. That's it. Get a warrant. We're killing him." Like, oh shit, fucked up.
That is true. I didn't actually think.
That's
about
like
that.
that's the only like what? No way. Like that's been going on for. I mean, think about that. We look at those civilizations as so tribal and so primitive, and like we came from that.
Yeah.
And now look where we are. We're so not in that. So it's like, I wonder. Damn. That was crazy. You know, that was interesting.
Oh, it's just a chat, I think.
It dropped a minute. No, I said that.
Oh.
My live stream dropped a minute ago.
Damn.
Oh no. Well, we're still recording, so if it's not up there, then I'll just take it down and post the video live.
Oh,
That's okay. We can cut it. It's cool. Well, thank you. This is fun.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So, for the video that will go to YouTube, if this is not still gonna come back, this has been Get Lost in Space. So I'm gonna tell you to see ya, get lost, find something that you truly want and believe it. If you didn't know what we're talking about, watch the show The Secret on Netflix. It's not really a show, it's a movie, but watch it.
It's okay. Just definitely watch it.
Definitely watch it and think about it.
Make a lot of connections.
Watch this podcast and maybe show it to your friend and show this podcast to your friend and believe that it could be something better for you, man.
No, for real.
For real. All right.
All right. It's been real.